to celebrate what has been an incredible journey of Startup India, 10 years of success, 10 years of growth, trial, tribulation, some problems, some excitement, some super great achievements, also a lot of tribulations and difficulties along the journey. But the youth of India has stood steadfast in this fantastic 10-year saga as India moved from a tiny seedling planted on 16th January 2016 to the world's third largest ecosystem, represented by all of you in the startup space. Big, big congratulations to all of you in the room and beyond. I just intervened because some of you may be wondering why we are sitting down and why we are not on the stage. I just thought I must share with you. I had not imagined that there will be so many people. I was busy in the elections in Mumbai, and some very good results are coming out from Maharashtra, my home state, where we are doing phenomenally well. And giving directions from there, and I said, look, let's not have this as some people sitting on the stage and the rest sitting down. I thought it'll be a nice, compact program. We'll interact with all of you. We'll have a conversation. And therefore, I told them we must sit along with everybody, since Honorable Prime Minister himself is also not going to sit on the stage. He's going to be sitting amongst all of us. It's only last night when I came in from Mumbai and came to the venue that I suddenly realized, oh boy, this is not exactly what I had conceptualized sitting in Mumbai. It seems the excitement about Startup's 10th year celebration anniversary is truly phenomenal, truly large, and you have shown a large heart by coming early in the morning on a very foggy winter morning. So a big thank you to all of you for joining us today. The idea behind the morning engagement after the startup rankings are announced is going to be a very free and informal conversation with 3 of our successful startup entrepreneurs who've done us proud, but not that it has been an easy journey for any of them. They've also faced difficulties. They've also had to mortgage their homes to start their entrepreneurial journey or fructify their ideas. They've also gone through failures. And within all of that, I thought it'll be great to be able to talk to all of you, amongst all of you, maybe also have some of you raise questions or suggestions which we can hear the illustrious friends guiding us. Welcome, Mohit. And make this a very friendly, conversational, yet educative morning, so that this whole celebration, apart from what you will take away from Honorable Prime Minister's very invaluable guidance and comments, will also help you shape your own journey as you progress in your life, in your careers, to greater heights of success. So once again, thank you very much, friends, for being here, and thank you for your support, for your commitment to make Startup India a global success story. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your warm words on a cold day. I would also like to welcome Mr. Mohit Yadav to the dais. Thank you so much for gracing us. Launched in 2020, the National Startup Awards were envisioned not merely as an awards program, but as a long-term enablement platform for India's most promising startups. To capture this remarkable journey and the impact created over the years, we now invite you to watch a short video that traces the evolution of the National Startup Awards across the last 4 editions.
In every corner of Bharat, visionaries are solving real-world problems. We are gathered here to recognize that spirit and celebrate the decadal year of Startup India. This journey began in 2016 with the inception of Startup India, launched by Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi.
हिंदुस्तान का कोई जिला, हिंदुस्तान का कोई ब्लॉक ऐसा ना हो कि आने वाले दिनों में नए स्टार्टअप शुरू ना हुए हो.
An important initiative under this Startup India revolution has been the National Startup Awards. Launched in 2020, these awards have evolved into the gold standard for innovation, honoring 4 years of excellence and transformative growth. Now in its 5th edition, the National Startup Awards is grander than ever, recognizing innovation across 20 categories and reaching deep into our Tier 2 and Tier 3 heartlands. We lead with the powerhouses driving our economic growth. We look at the blueprints for our sustainable future cities, pushing the boundaries of what's possible on the technological frontier. Because our roots are in the land, we celebrate those reimagining the future of agriculture. Its purpose in development and humanitarian impact. Our map is redefined by the strength of regional spirit. We salute the resilience and visionary drive of our founders. And finally, the disruptors shaping the next-gen landscape. The response to the 5th edition of the National Startup Awards has been staggering, with 3,163 applicants from every single one of 36 states and union territories. Covering 53 industries, the future is inclusive. Over 42% of these startups are founded or co-founded by women.
We got a platform that introduced us to policy makers, to different investors. What I believe in is this is India's time, and all our startups are writing India's story.
From thousands of applications received, 134 finalists presented before a distinguished jury panel. Each pushing the boundaries of innovation for new India. From this extraordinary pool, 20 winners are selected. They will receive 10 lakh rupees and continuous hand-holding support. These visionaries are the gold standard of Atmanirbhar Bharat, proving our local ingenuity is ready to lead the world. They are the architects of the future, ready to help shape Vikasit Bharat 2047. Join us as we unveil the results. Jai Hind.
Ladies and gentlemen, an integral component of every edition of the National Startup Awards is the release of its report, which documents the journey and impact of the awards. I now have the honor to invite the Honorable Minister for Commerce and Industry, Shri Piyush Goyal, along with the other distinguished dignitaries on the dais, to kindly launch the report of the 5th edition of National Startup Awards.
DPIIT conducted the 5th editions of the State Startup Ranking exercise with the key objective to identify best practices, foster competitiveness, and propel states and union territories to work proactively towards uplifting their startup ecosystems. We will now play a video which will take you through the journey of conducting the state's startup ranking exercise.
Since 2016, India's startup movement has galvanized the economy, driving innovation, generating employment, and positioning Bharat as a global engine of growth under the decisive leadership of the Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi.
पूरे विश्व की तुलना में हमें आगे बढ़ना है तो हमारे युवकों को हमें प्रोत्साहित करना होगा, उनको अवसर देना होगा.
Today, Bharat spearheads over 2 lakh recognized ventures, creating a national heartbeat of innovation that thrives across the country. At the heart of this journey lies a powerful truth. A strong nation is built on strong state. The state's startup ranking framework was born to turn this vision into reality, fostering a spirit of cooperative and competitive federalism where every state leads. In this landmark 10th year, DPIIT presents the 5th edition of the state's startup ranking framework. With record participation from 34 states and union territories, this represents our most rigorous and merit-based assessment of the Indian ecosystem to date. Evaluating 19 action points across 6 reform areas, the framework is anchored by a 3-pillar weightage. 75% documentary evidence, 15% startup feedback, and a new 10% for private ecosystem mapping. Driven by capacity building workshops and intensive evaluation committee meetings, we reviewed 3,800 documents and mobilized feedback from 1.3 lakh beneficiaries. The impact is transformative, doubling incubation networks and opening government procurement to empower entrepreneurs across India. This wisdom is now captured in our national and state reports and the best practices compendium. On this National Startup Day, we celebrate the spirit of Atmanirbhar Bharat as we reaffirm our pledge to engineer a Viksit Bharat by 2047. Let us salute every entrepreneur, state by state, startup by startup. Jai Hind.
To present key insights on the framework, evaluation process, and results, we are launching the National Report and Compendium of Best Practices. We have also prepared state-specific reports for all 34 participating states and union territories, highlighting ecosystem strengths and priority areas. I now invite the Honorable Minister for Commerce and Industry, Shri Piyush Goyal, and other dignitaries to release the reports.
I would like to inform everyone that the declaration of results for the National Startup Awards and the state's startup ranking will take place after the Honorable Prime Minister's address. I now request Mr. Aman Gupta, founder, BOAT, to initiate the next session, Startup Pe Charcha. Welcome.
Hello. Hi. Hi. Hi everyone. Good morning everyone. Aja, khade ho gaye. Hi everyone. This is a founder event. So guys, you know founders mein to energy hoti hai. So guys, please energy rakhna please. How's the Josh? Amazing. So my name is Aman Gupta. मैं बोट का co-founder हूँ और Shark Tank India में एक shark. और honestly, आप जैसा एक founder जो कभी यहाँ पे बैठ के लोगों से सुनता था, आज से कुछ साल पहले मैं बस आप ही लोगों की तरह यहाँ बैठ के फाउंडर था, सोचता था कि कभी हमारी भी एक बड़ी कंपनी होगी, कभी हम भी कुछ बड़ा करके दिखाएंगे, कुछ हम भी अपने देश के लिए करेंगे. I was just one of you guys and I'm proud to say that if I can be sitting here in front of in front of all of you along with Minister Sir and these dignitaries, so can you guys be, right? So guys, this is the new India where startup founders get to share a stage with Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable Minister and fellow dignitaries. आज नेशनल स्टार्टअप डे है, राइट? एक टाइम होता था जब हम लोग बर्थडे सेलिब्रेट करते थे. कभी आपने सोचा था कि स्टार्टअप डे भी सेलिब्रेट होगा? नहीं, मैंने नहीं सोचा था. बॉलीवुड में हम लोग आईफा अवार्ड्स सेलिब्रेट करते थे, फिल्म फेयर अवार्ड सेलिब्रेट होते थे. आज स्टार्टअप अवार्ड सेलिब्रेट हो रहे हैं.
It's an amazing thing for our country, guys. We should all be proud of what is happening in our country today. आज नेशनल स्टार्टअप डे है और एक बात मैं क्लियर करना चाहता हूँ, ये सिर्फ आम दिन नहीं है, ये दिन हम सब फाउंडर्स के लिए है जो हसल करना चाहते हैं, पिच कर रहे हैं, फेल हो रहे हैं और फिर उठ के इंडिया के लिए कुछ बिल्ड कर रहे हैं. आज हमारे साथ एक ऐसे लीडर हैं जिन्होंने स्टार्टअप इकोसिस्टम को शेप करने में बहुत बड़ा रोल प्ले किया है, श्री पीयूष गोयल जी. थैंक यू सर फॉर बैकिंग इंडियन एंटरप्रेन्योर्स एंड इनोवेटर्स. पहले हम सर बैक ऑफिस टू द वर्ल्ड थे, आज थर्ड लार्जेस्ट स्टार्टअप इकोसिस्टम कहा जाता है. सर स्टार्टअप्स हम लोग अकेले ग्रो नहीं कर सकते सर, हमें सपोर्ट चाहिए गवर्नमेंट का, फाउंडर्स, फेलो फाउंडर्स का, इन्वेस्टर्स का और टैलेंट का. सब एक ही डायरेक्शन में मूव करेंगे तभी हम सब स्टार्टअप सर ग्रो कर पाएंगे सर. आज गवर्नमेंट वर्सेस स्टार्टअप्स नहीं, गवर्नमेंट प्लस स्टार्टअप्स बिल्ड हो रहा है सर. Piyush sir, thank you again for making and helping India not just a great market but a great place to build global companies. Let's make in India for the world now. Let's get started, sir. Now I can sit. Ab baith ke kar lena, sir. Sir, it's been 10 years, right, from 2016 when our Honorable Prime Minister launched the National Startup Day, right? What change have you seen, sir, in last 10 years? One change which I would say is, sir, now startup founders like us get a seat on the table, sir. Like Nikhil Kamath, our dear friend, he went to US. I went to France, he went to UK. We all are getting a space where there was a space where founders were not being celebrated, sir. What change have you seen, sir, in the last 10 years?
Thank you very much, Aman, for those opening comments, setting the context. I think the biggest change that one can witness in resurgent India and new India is self-confidence. The self-confidence that the youth of India demonstrate today was probably never seen before. There was always hesitation, there was always fear, there was always trepidation whether we should go ahead with becoming an entrepreneur or experimenting with ideas. There was a tendency, you get a certain number of marks, you go into a particular stream. My own case, after 10th standard SSC in Mumbai, I was always inclined to go towards finance. But you get a certain number of marks, and then, of course, it's way back, long back that I'm talking about. And then, समाज क्या बोलेगा, रिश्तेदार क्या बोलेंगे, ये कॉमर्स में भेजा मतलब बड़ा ही नालायक लड़का होगा, तो फिर साइंस में जाओ, जय हिंद में एडमिशन लो, अग्रवाल क्लास में जाके जेई की तैयारी करो, आईआईटी में एंट्रेंस के लिए. एक टिपिकल माइंडसेट था. परिवार में सब इंजीनियर्स हैं तो तुमको भी इंजीनियर बनना चाहिए, नहीं बनोगे मतलब यू आर कंसिडर्ड अ फेलियर. और उसके बाद जब ध्यान आया कि दिस इज नॉट माय कॉलिंग और मुझे चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट बनना है, तो एडमिशन मिलने में मुश्किल हो गई. I could not get admission in January 1980, halfway through my 11th standard, to move to a commerce college. अब मैं बोलूँगा कि influence लगा के मिल गई, तो आप लोग misunderstand कर सकते हैं, पर वो करना पड़ा. I had to get some senior politician to go to the college who knew the principal and get admission. Today, with the new education policy, the changing thought processes of the country, each one of us may choose not even to go to college. Some of us may just choose that after school, I want to experiment with a new idea. Some of us may choose to just do open learning through an open university. Some of us may just choose after 12th standard in science to go into arts or liberal humanities and still get credits for what you have done. That's because there is a trust in the government for all of you, your abilities to know what is good for you, and you have a trust in yourself that you know what is good for you, you are willing to experiment with the unknown, you are willing to go that extra mile to become successful in life. I think this changed dimension where India started thinking very futuristic was missing when some of us were young.
Yes sir, totally. We all agree to that sir. And जब हम लोग start कर रहे थे तो सर डर लगता था क्योंकि I used to be scared that यार startup fail हो गई तो क्या होगा. अभी हम लोग from job seekers we have all become job creators and that's the new India. सर हम लोग जब start कर रहे थे तो हम पूछते थे हमारे college में when I was graduating there were not many people who wanted to be entrepreneurs. We were scared कि people, what will people think about us? But now we all proudly say we want to be startup founders, right? And or we want to join a startup. So Ritesh, I would like to ask you, आप उड़ीसा से आए हैं, right? And आपने 17 साल में company start करी थी. What is your view on what is happening today and how have you seen the change happening in the last 10 years?
Thank you Aman and thank you everyone. मेरे लिए बहुत इमोशनल है सर क्योंकि 10 साल पहले मैं स्टार्टअप इंडिया का जो पहला वर्जन था मैं उसमें जेन्युइनली लास्ट बेंचर था और मुझे तब भी याद है कि बाहर में एसपीजी ने 2 घंटे पहले दरवाजे बंद कर दिए थे और बड़ी जोर की भीड़ थी तो 10 साल बाद यहाँ पे आना मेरे लिए जेन्युइनली बहुत इमोशनल है मैंने शुरुआत करी थी रायगढ़ उड़ीसा से मैं पला बड़ा न्यूज़ का बड़ा प्रॉब्लम होता है मैंने न्यूज़ में पढ़ा कि यूएस में बड़ी कंपनियां जो हैं लोग 19 साल 20 साल की उम्र में बना ले रहे हैं तो मुझे लगा हम भी कर सकते हैं तो उसलिए मैंने मन बना करके 12वीं कक्षा के बाद अभी मिनिस्टर सर बता रहे थे कि आफ्टर 12th some people may think they want to experiment. I am a true example of it because after 12th I watched this movie called The Social Network. I saw that Mark Zuckerberg is able to start a company and Peter Thiel gave him some capital. Maybe he will give me as well. Shraddha is here. She's seen me through those highs and lows. So Peter Thiel gave me $100,000 purely by applying online. He said, आपको $1 lakh देंगे. I went from a little town in India. पहली बार flight ticket लिया. उन्होंने पैसे दिए उसके पहली बार visa मिला. Went from a small town in India to San Francisco. Life changed on this very day in 2016. बिकॉज उस दिन पहली बार आप में से कई लोग थे मेरे साथ में उस समय आप लोग को याद होगा ऑनरेबल प्राइम मिनिस्टर साहब ने कहा कि मैं रितेश को सुनता हूं तो सोचता हूं एक चाय वाले ने होटल चेन का विचार क्यों नहीं किया मेरी मॉम सुन रही थी उसे टेलीविजन में उससे पहले कहती थी कि कई सारे आप लोगों को भी कहती होंगी कि शायद गलत संगत में पड़ गए हो ये एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप गलत रास्ता है बायोडेटा में क्या लिखोगे शादी के पहले अभी शादी होगी तो अभी वो प्रॉब्लम भी नहीं है पर शुरुआत वहां से हुई थी पर लास्ट 10 years इंडिया हैज सीन अ सी चेंज इंडियाज जीडीपी हैज मोर देन डबल्ड टुडे one of our co-sharks founded a company called shadi.com. He was telling me recently that entrepreneurs are one of the top profiles on matrimonial sites कि अगर आप फाउंडर हैं तो आज मैट्रिमोनियल साइट्स में भी इज्जत बहुत बढ़ गई है शायद 10 साल पहले रिवर्स होता था आई थिंक दैट थर्ड यूएस से अगर आप आज हार्वर्ड से स्टैनफोर्ड से ग्रेजुएट कर रहे हैं और आप भारतीय हैं एटलीस्ट 1/3 of the people want to come back and not come back to work at a large corporate or a multinational. They want to come either start a company or work for a startup. That is what Startup India has done for us today. The best talent, the best people want to come and work together here. So my perspective is, if you are somebody from a small town in Odisha, Bihar, Delhi, Tamil Nadu, wherever you are from, and you're here, you should know कि 10 साल बाद आप अमन भाई मेरे मोहित से 10 गुना बड़ी कंपनी बना करके यहीं पर होंगे. I wish you all the very best.
Piyush sir, I would ask you again one question. If you were to start up now, what would you start now? What industry do you see is moving? Is it the manufacturing sector or the consumer sector? Or which side, whether it's deep tech, AI, what would you start now if you have to start up, sir?
That's a tough one. At 60, you're asking me that question.
Age no bar, sir.
Yeah, but for that matter, Falguni Nair is a success story before us, a startup who started quite late in life and has been phenomenally successful. You've all heard of Nykaa. The founder of Nykaa worked for almost 30 years before in a bank before she started her own enterprise, and look how successful she has been. So for that matter, age is not a bar. So you can, if I was to really look at starting something, I would look at two areas which are very dear to me and where I see tremendous potential for the nation, both in terms of the need of the nation and in terms of the potential to be successful. Both are areas which in a way are very traditional, may not count as a startup, because in startup basically you are not just an entrepreneur. You are bringing innovation to your entrepreneurial work. If we could expand in these two areas with an overlay of innovation, with an overlay of possibly new means of implementing programs, then two areas which will have a profound impact in our journey towards Viksit Bharat in the Amrit Kal. It's going to be tourism, where Ritesh himself is very active. He's brought a lot of innovation, and I'll share with you a personal experience with him, and skill development. These two areas with an overlay of some innovative ideas. Now look at Ritesh. When he brought in homestays and used technology to connect a large number of homestays across the world to provide tourists not only affordable and good quality stay, but also give them an opportunity to engage with local culture, local cuisine, meet the local people, stay with them, understand what life is like in different parts of the country and the world. He brought in a technological overlay into an idea related to tourism, and which has had a transformational impact in the way tourism has grown in the country. I'll share with you, once I was in Gulmarg, Srinagar, and I realized that there's a huge shortage of rooms and availability of rooms in that region. I called you up from Gulmarg. This was soon after Article 370 and 35A were removed from the statute, and Kashmir was once again emerging as a very, very attractive destination for tourism. This was around 20 or so, 2020. Just probably before COVID hit, if I'm not mistaken. And I called him up and I said, look, the whole Kashmir region, so beautiful, so absolutely friendly. People are very nice, culturally very vibrant, huge potential. But without rooms, we won't be able to grow tourism. And he started off immediately, if I remember correctly. And across Kashmir, today those local people where homestays were started almost have grown their homes into mini hotels. Started with one room, added another room after a year, added 2 rooms after 2 years. And now he has 1,000 rooms in Kashmir alone. Similarly, Kevadia, where we have the Statue of Unity, the tribute to Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, the Iron Man of India. Kevadia is a Adivasi, a tribal area. एक आदिवासी क्षेत्र में जब स्टैच्यू ऑफ यूनिटी आई तो बड़े पैमाने पे लोगों ने आना शुरू किया, वहां पे जाना शुरू किया, और टूरिज्म अट्रैक्शंस वहां पे आने से लोग 2-3 दिन रहने भी लगे वहां पे, कॉन्फ्रेंसेस सेमिनार्स होने लग गए. पर फिर समस्या थी रहने की, तो वहां होम स्टे शुरू हुए, और टेक्नोलॉजी के माध्यम से आप रूम भी देख सकते हो, सुविधाएं भी देख सकते हो. जरूरतें भी क्या आपकी है, आपको किस टाइप का खाना खाना है, वेजिटेरियन, नॉन वेजिटेरियन, गुजराती, जो भी। और देखते ही देखते एक आदिवासी क्षेत्र इतना प्रगति करने लग गया कि लोगों के छोटी सी कुटिया से बढ़कर अब लोगों के पास अच्छे आलीशान घर बन गए आदिवासी भाई बहनों के पास, जहां होम स्टेज चल रहे। ऐसे ही टूरिज्म को और बहुत चीजें हो सकती है। इमेजिन अगर कोई फॉरेन से आना चाहे, उनको पता ही नहीं है कहाँ जाना है, वहां जाके मेरे को कौन ध्यान रखेगा, कहाँ रहूं, क्या देखने जाऊं। ये सब चीजों को जोड़ के अगर और लोग टूरिज्म में इंटरेस्ट देते हैं, आई सी ह्यूज पोटेंशियल। एंड सिमिलरली स्किल डेवलपमेंट, the country's need today is training, retraining, reskilling people to become more contemporary, to become ready for work in tomorrow's India. Artificial intelligence, quantum. In Mumbai, in a skill development center, we do cyber security training. Kindle does cyber security training. 4-month training. Young kids, young girls, maybe barely graduates, 4-month training, and those girls get a job straight away for 4 lakh rupees in 4 months training. But can we bring innovative technologies and do that at a large scale across the country? We are, after all, the world's second largest chat GPT users in India. How do we bring technology overlay into these two sectors to reach the wider mass of people, particularly in rural India? I think that would be my favorite areas to venture in.
So that's amazing, sir. Actually, this time, as you said, people can start at 60. Abhi, sir, we were at Shark Tank last week. There was a founder who was 13-year-old and he started an AI startup. It is amazing to see these young guys who are starting at 13 now. मतलब at 13 सर हमें ये नहीं पता था साइंस लेनी है या कॉमर्स, और ये लोग आजकल बच्चे स्टार्ट करके कंपनियां बना रहे हैं सर, उनको फंडिंग भी मिल रही है, 17 में मिल जाती है. So Mohit, coming to you, you are from Jaipur, right? And you build a company, and in 4 years you sold the company for 3,000 crores, right? Is that right? 3,000 crores in 4 years he sold a company. And in a category which already had players, right? So what happened? Why did you do it, and how did you do it? I wanted to ask that.
No, yaar, I think it's a long story. But firstly, thanks everyone for being here. Thanks for the opportunity. Coming on the age first, when you say you're 60, I think 60 is a new 40. The kind of energy you showed, you still, inspire many. My life has been all about failures. I started my first company in 2008 when I just graduated from college. And since then, 10, 12 years, tried multiple things, failed multiple times. I think this entire period just learned one thing. Harder you work, luckier you get. So when we started Minimalist, there were few things that we noticed. First, I think the way overall consumer awareness is increasing in India. At times we feel that if we talk about chemistry, if we talk about science, maybe some individual in metros, those who come from the best of the colleges understand some part of that, right? But what we have seen is there's a knowledge parity across the nation. You go from metros to tier 2 or tier 3, everyone is so well connected on social media. And even people sitting in remote villages are following, dermats and other people. And that knowledge parity and the growth of, quick com and other channels created the level playing field for companies like us. 2020, we raised capital from Peak 15. I'm very happy to see Rajan also here. And we're talking about this new India and the changes. When we're raising our Series A, most of the time, the question people used to ask is, can you build a 100 crore brand from India if you are only online? And 8 out of 10 will not buy this point. Everyone will say that, the likeliness of building a 100 crore revenue brand purely e-com is very unlikely. Fast forward 5 years, when we talk about the entire change in the nation, startup and all, the question is, how many years you will take to 1,000 crore? No one has any disbelief that 1,000 crore can be done or not. I think it's just about how much time you will take. From can you do 100 to how many years for 1,000? I think that is a mind shift we have seen in the 5 or 6 years. And I think other thing that we have seen is the boldness. So, earlier when we also started, I'll not glorify our own time. It was all about creating good product, try to figure out our relevance in India. But with every passing year, this entire dream of made in India for the world, I think people are not just talking about those philosophy, they are living that philosophy. And when you go outside of India, either in US, Southeast Asia, GCC, made in India tag is not seen as something which is, inferior in any way or quality. Today, our 25% business come from exports. So I think this entire shift, economy, the quick com, the boldness, I think all of those points, fuel this entire growth.
No, amazing. And you spoke about energy. I'll give you one example of the energy which I had seen. I was with Modi ji in France, and हमारा ना सुबह Bastille Day parade में हम गए, ठीक है? तो सुबह 7 बजे से we were there, and there were business meetings throughout the day. And then Louvre में dinner हुआ, और फिर रात को 12 बजे fireworks हुए सर, Eiffel Tower में. तो 12 बजे, मैं सुबह 7 बजे से लेके 12 बजे तक काम कर रहा था सर. मैंने मेलेटोनिन खाई और मैं सो गया सर अगले दिन पूरा. मैं बहुत लेट उठा, और जब मैं सो के उठा तो मोदी जी ऑलरेडी यूएई जा चुके थे, एंड ही वाज सिटिंग विद द पीपल देयर. Same I had experience with you, sir, where, at one day we were all unicorn founders, we were all there. And, at 9 o'clock the event started, at 11:30 in the night it ended. And we asked you, sir, how do you get so much energy? And I think that energy flows from top to the team here also, sir. I think the energy in this government is amazing. Let me do one thing. Let me just walk around, and why don't you, Ritesh and Mohit, come with me. Let's go and ask some questions from the audience here, right? Because we wanted to make it more inclusive and more participative. Let me ask sir first. Sir, आप कोई question पूछना चाहेंगे? ठीक है. So let me ask Rajan sir. Rajan sir, you are an investor. You have seen so many IPOs in last 1 year, and you've made a lot of money too, right? Yes. So you made, you've seen like 200 plus IPOs. Which has happened. So what do you think what is happening in the country? And is there a question you want to ask any one of us?
Yeah, thank you. Firstly, Honorable Minister, it's great that you're making this Shark Tank 2.0. So great to have our 3 sharks here. Look, I think what has happened in India is 3 things. One, our markets are getting deeper. I think Mohit said a great point. Going from launch to 100 crore brand used to be hard. Today, I think going from 0 to 1,000 crores is very possible. I think a decade from now, we'll be talking about going from a launch to 10,000 crores in 5-6 years. I mean, that is the new India. I think second, look, 2011 was our first unicorn. Today, we have 120 unicorns. We have extraordinary talent that have been groomed at the best companies of India, but we also have a young, bold India. It's incredible to see so many people here. And thirdly, we have a very vibrant capital market, right? So I think this idea that, last year in 2025, we had 2 companies that went public with a $10 billion market cap, 90,000 crore market cap.
That's amazing.
No, that were founded less than 10 years ago, right? So the idea that you can start a company, you can build a company, you can take it public, and it can be worth 90,000 crores or 1 lakh crores in less than a decade. Wow. That is the new India. So I think it's great to be here. Maybe I'll ask a question for Minister.
Yeah.
Minister, can I ask you a question? They said I can ask you a question. We ask you lots of questions. But Minister, I think at the last Mahakumbh, you had said, we need to focus more on deep tech. How are you feeling about the deep tech ecosystem now? Are you feeling better? Are you seeing more?
I'm very excited about the progress we are making. I may also like to acknowledge, possibly, at that point of time, I was not as well informed about all the fantastic work that was going on in India in the deep tech space. And would probably like to also acknowledge that all my comments that day were not necessarily accurate or completely accurate. But I'm at least glad that it became a little bit of a wake-up call and shook the system, so much so that now the second 10,000 crore rupee startup fund of funds that the government has recently announced and launched is largely going to be used to support our deep tech entrepreneurs, early stage funding or funding at the critical time when they find it most difficult. We want to take that risk capital to the deep tech entrepreneurs. And what I'm seeing, I had engagement in Bengaluru where you were also there. I've been going around the country to incubators and college campuses. I really see a lot of work happening in the deep tech space. And thank you very much, all the captains of the industry, for your leadership of bringing that spirit of inquiry into the system. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
We have Dr. Tej. So, sir, you come from Sikkim, right? And
Thank you.
yeah, I think you run an incubator.
Right.
So, yeah, why don't you share your experience and ask anything?
Right. At the very outset, congratulations everyone on completing the decadal year of Startup India. I think it's something that we never thought the country will have when we were a little younger. But then today, as I get to sit in front of everyone here, I just want to let you know that the vibrancy of the startup ecosystem does not confine to the Bangalore and the Delhi anymore. You can see that it has started moving to the frontier regions like the Northeast. We also had the opportunity of having our Honorable Minister Sir in our campus to see what our startups are doing. So with that, I would also like to also ask the question to Ritesh, if you're around. I would also like you to give a small little advice because we never had this. Ritesh, if you're there. Ritesh. So,
Ritesh, here's a question for you.
I remember meeting you in 2017 in Orissa, in Bhubaneswar. He has come a very, very long way. He has read the book from 0 to 1, and now he has gone from 0 to 1,000 is more than that. That is what he has gone. I would like from you to tell the crowd here, what are the challenges you face and how did you navigate through them so that this will also motivate people coming from the far-flung regions to follow the footsteps that you have taken, and that will really motivate us. And in fact, this will also be a guideline for us, a guiding light for us to follow your footsteps for the young founders from that side, sir.
Thank you so much for such a kind question. For those of you who could not hear, the question is, we both had met in Odisha in 2017 when we were trying to expand Startup India nationally. And that's my side gig, which is beyond doing my job. I try to help take the version of what I think about startups nationally. The question is, what were the challenges I faced? Look, I started my company in 2014. So 2 years later, Startup India started. So what I have heard about how businesses used to be challenging earlier, it is, at least today, my life is so much easier than that. But one of the examples of that is Minister Sir explained about homestays in Kashmir and Gujarat that we became a part of. It's a big part of our business. And trust me, we did not have to give any royalty for it, like we asked for at Shark Tank. So long story short, I feel we have a very supportive government, a very supportive talent base. आप लोग जितने लोग यहाँ पे आए हुए हो, मैं लास्ट तक देख रहा हूँ, एक कुर्सी खाली नहीं है. Everybody's come here with an ambition of saying, I want to build my own company and create an entrepreneurial journey. That kind of people came and joined me as partners, as team members, as shareholders, and many others. If I have to say bad news or challenges that you have to be prepared for, there are three. The first is, you will have situations where you will fail. I faced the biggest challenge of my life with COVID, where company was growing 3 times year over year. Overnight, revenues fell by 70%. Everybody thought this company won't survive COVID. Newspapers said the same thing. But that is the true test of an entrepreneur, like it is a true test for anyone. So whether it is tough times of failure, whether it is finding new people who can join you, वो तो खुद करना पड़ेगा दोस्त, वो गवर्नमेंट नहीं कर सकती. गवर्नमेंट कैन मेक एन एनेबलिंग एटमॉस्फेयर. फिर हमें अपने आप से काम करके आगे बढ़ना पड़ेगा, इज व्हाट आई वुड से. बट थैंक्स फॉर द क्वेश्चन.
So I have here, I'm here with some real startup founders. And, do you have a question you want to ask? Yeah, here.
I would have a suggestion for the government of India. We as founders, I think when we are building, we should be given more room to fail. There's a reason why US has reached to US. It's because the investors there or even the people around them, they have a risk appetite. If our investors can have that risk appetite, we can fail, and then build. As Mohit here mentioned, he started in 2008, right? It took him around 3 to 4 startups. He failed, but he built. If our investors and the support from the government can be to increase the cap table, to just give us more capital so we can make it happen, then I think we can do something. I am requesting Piyush Goyal sir to increase the budget for startups. We should be given room to failure. Thank you.
Thank you. So I have a woman co-founder, a woman founder here. Why don't you start and why don't you ask your question?
Hello. My name is Himanshi. My startup is Bearcraft Consulting. We are working with the craft industry and we want to decentralize the factory production to provide doorstep livelihood. So my question is from Piyush sir. Sir, I just want to ask that what are the policies that are coming in place for the craft, particular to the textile industry, where we can talk about decentralized production at the doorstep of the artisans and how we can do much market linkage. We are trying our bit to put like a digital craft resume on a platform so that SMEs who are serving to the bigger players can eventually reach out to these artisans without training them, putting that operational cost. But my question is that what more we can do to provide that kind of livelihood creation?
Just before I answer, if you look back, you can see the enthusiasm amongst the audience. There you are. Look at that's the real young India, full of energy. But may I request, you will get a chance to do this later. Let's try to keep this conversation going. Ma'am, your question is extremely pertinent, and frankly, it's very important that we recognize the good work of the handicraft and handloom sector. A lot of these artisans are not able to reach the last mile delivery to the market. And maybe a good idea to engage with them, bring a technology. Somehow we will have to bring technology into their inventory. Unless that happens, it's very difficult for them to come onto e-commerce platforms or digital platforms. Suppose they get an order and their stock is exhausted and are unable to fulfill the next order, it can actually create a problem. So what we need to do is get them to computerize or put their inventory on a technology database so that the sales can be accounted and what is really available is on offer on the e-commerce platform. GEM, the government e-marketplace, is willing to support any of the effort like you are saying to help you in the area of operation where you are trying to get all these people onboarded, to develop that inventory system for these craftspersons so that their products can actually be offered on GEM and then through ONDC on various other buyer apps. So please talk to GEM, talk to government e-marketplace. They have a website and they'll be able to guide you how you can engage their services without cost to help handicrafts and handloom players get computerized and onto the e-commerce platform.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir, one question I would like to ask, sir. There's so many FTAs happening and there is a EU FTA also happening. How can startups, how can founders like us benefit from that, sir?
That's very interesting. Friends, you might have been reading in the newspapers or seeing on television that of late, India enters into free trade agreements with developed countries. So in the last few years, we've done free trade agreements with the United Kingdom, with Australia, with New Zealand, with United Arab Emirates.
Amazing.
With Oman, with Switzerland, Norway, Liechtenstein, and Iceland. The idea is to open doors for our products, for our goods, our services in the developed world with whom we do not compete, but actually whose economies complement our economy. They have high per capita GDPs, they have high spending in these countries, but they don't have large pool of talent or population. They are interested in investing in India. Almost all these geographies are large investors in India and potentially will become large investors in the startup ecosystem also. So one way that we can benefit from these FTAs, which provides certainty, predictability, and confidence to these countries and their investors that investing in India is safe and investing in India can give you attractive returns, is to try and attract them to come to India and invest, which we are doing at the government level, but also some of our people in the fintech space or the finance world may like to focus on that. The other way is all of these countries ask me that they want to do a startup bridge between their startups and Indian startups. Some of you could take a leadership role. Maybe groups of 3-4 could pick up the gauntlet, pick up the task of creating a startup bridge with each of these countries. I can easily see before my eyes at least 100 countries around the world with whom we can help you, the ecosystem in India, engage with those countries. And once we have a startup bridge, we'll actually be able to take investments into India and take our startup ideas to those countries. To my mind, talent and skill of India is unparalleled. And these FTAs provide us a huge opportunity to engage with those markets. Usually we are getting duty-free access in almost all products. We are getting new access in services which earlier were not available from India. They are also attracting a lot of Indian talent to go and work there. So we are doing mobility agreements. We are working with them on specialized areas like machine learning, like education, skill development. We are engaging with many of these countries to see whether we can have UPI as a payment mechanism for trade between them and India. We are working with them for also seeing whether language training in India will help our people to go and serve in those countries. They are very good models of technology-driven online language training. The world opens up. And I would urge you to look at the fine print and the possibilities. Green hydrogen, renewable energy, sustainability, energy efficiency, artificial intelligence, applications, tons of opportunities. Just go for it. Unless we go and experiment and unless we go and dive deeper into those opportunities, we will not know what's on the table.
Thank you, sir. And, I'll tell you guys a small story. Last 2 days back, actually yesterday, we got to know that, we will have to sit and ask questions. So मैंने सर को बोला कि सर की टीम को कि सर कोई questions हैं जो हमें पूछने हैं तो बता दो. और सर ने बोला नहीं, आप लोगों को जो पूछना है पूछना. So sir, thank you sir. मतलब इतना freedom भी हमारे को मत दो सर. हम पता नहीं कहाँ कहाँ पूछ लेंगे सर कुछ भी. But that is so brave of you and so kind of you to do this, sir. So let me ask some question from Pawan sir about space. He's working so much with the space founders. Sir, what's happening in the space sector, and what do you think about the Indian space sector going forward, sir?
Wow. Do I have 2 hours?
No, sir.
No?
2 minutes.
Okay. All right. So as we all know, that the space sector was a very closed sector in India. It's only about 4 years ago that the Honorable Prime Minister decided that we need to open up a space sector for our private sectors. And the journey in the last 4 years has been nothing short of amazing. The number of startups that are coming into the space sector is mind-boggling. Today we have more than 350 startups in the space sector, and all of them, sir, are doing deep tech work. There's not a single space startup that's doing some kind of a creation of a portal or anything like that. What is very reassuring for me is that the kind of work that they're doing is not incremental to what has been done by ISRO, but they are taking the technology much forward. In many cases, they're leading the world. Now, it's a very small sector in terms of the overall valuation or market cap or whatever you want to call it, but we have crossed about $2 billion total valuation of space sector companies. 2 of them have reached $500 million.
Beautiful.
An objective, the Prime Minister had given us an objective that in 5 years we should have 5 unicorns coming from the space sector.
Lovely.
So that's something what we're working on.
That's amazing,
And I'm very
sir.
happy many of them are here and very happy the kind of work that they've done.
Sir, that's so nice, sir. हम लोग मतलब हम लोगों को बचपन में सर वो पटाखों वाले रॉकेट की आदत थी. आजकल फाउंडर्स रॉकेट्स बना रहे हैं सर वर्ल्ड के लिए. That's amazing.
अच्छी कंपनी बनाने के लिए सिर्फ टैलेंट और आइडिया ही नहीं, कैपिटल की भी जरूरत होती है. और कैपिटल लाने में इन्वेस्ट इंडिया हैज प्लेड एन इनक्रेडिबल रोल. Bharat is in the last 10 years been one of the biggest inbound foreign investment receivers, and domestic capital के लिए honorable minister ने पहले बताया कि fund of funds से significant startups में investment आया है. इसके पीछे एक बहुत बड़ा catalyst रहा है Invest India. I have had the great honor to be with Invest India leadership in Denmark, in UK और कई और देशों में, and the skill with which they operate is incredible. दुनिया भर में मैं देखता हूँ कि लाइन लगी होती है कि अगला मीटिंग इन्वेस्ट इंडिया से और कौन सी बड़ी कंपनी करेंगी. निवृत्ति मैम हमारे साथ में जो इन्वेस्ट इंडिया लीड करती हैं. मैम, मेरे आपसे 2 सवाल हैं. पहला है कि हाउ डू यू फ्रॉम योर परस्पेक्टिव थिंक अबाउट क्रिएटिंग अ स्टार्टअप इकोसिस्टम, बिकॉज ऑल ऑफ अस जितने हम लोग यहाँ पे स्टार्टअप्स हैं ना, हम सबको हमेशा कैपिटल की कमी रहती है. वी नीड मोर कैपिटल बिकॉज आवर ड्रीम्स आर ऑलवेज बिगर देन द रिसोर्सेज वी हैव. So how do we make sure that we can get access to that capital? And second, you go all around the world. Are there any pockets of capital that we as founders are not tracking? Especially early stage founders where I've just started and I need the resources to get to the first stage of growth. What are your thoughts about this?
So first of all, thank you very much. Thank you very much for giving us so much honor for Invest India. मैं जल्दी से आपको ये बताना चाहती हूँ कि इस जो साल अभी ख़त्म होगा अप्रैल में, उसमें इन्वेस्ट इंडिया ने अब तक 4 बिलियन और ऑलरेडी फैसिलिटेट किया है, और अप्रैल एंड तक हम 6 से 7 बिलियन फैसिलिटेट करेंगे. तो ये कूडोस के लिए नहीं मैं आपको बता रही हूँ, मैं इसलिए बता रही हूँ कि कल मैं एक कंपनी से मिल रही थी BASF, तो वो ये कह रहे हैं कि हम इम्पोर्ट में बहुत पैसा लगाते हैं और हमको कॉस्ट इफेक्टिवनेस कम मिलती है, हम चाइना से बहुत ज़्यादा महंगे हैं इंडिया में. तो वो मुझसे कहते हैं कि क्या आप मुझे छोटी कंपनी स्टार्टअप्स को इंट्रोड्यूस कर सकती हैं जो मेरे लोकल सप्लायर बन सकते हैं. मैं उनमें खुद फंड लगाने के लिए तैयार हूँ, मैं उन्हें स्केल अप करने के लिए तैयार हूँ, मैं उनके साथ क्वालिटी इनोवेशन पे तैयार हूँ. So not just chemical company, but we have had motors, small components, passives, resistors, capacitors, जैसे छोटी छोटी चीज़. Even solar में what is amazing is जो प्लास्टिक की लेयर हम लगाते हैं पॉलीमर्स की, आपको नहीं पता होगा कि हम 90% उसको इंपोर्ट करते हैं. So when we have big investors who are investing $7 billion in India, they are looking for local supply chain to address their cost issues. तो मुझे ये आपसे ये कहना है कि बड़ी बड़ी कंपनियों की जो ऑलरेडी कैप्टिव डिमांड है, हम इन्वेस्ट इंडिया और DPIT के साथ आपको उन डिमांड से जोड़ सकते हैं, उनसे ही आपको कैपिटल दिला सकते हैं, इन एडिशन टू इंस्टीट्यूशनल इन्वेस्टर. सो आई एम रियली लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड टू बिल्ड लोकल सप्लाई चेन आउट ऑफ इंडिया एंड लेवरेज ऑल ऑफ यू टू क्रिएट दैट अपॉर्चुनिटी फॉर द लार्ज इन्वेस्टर्स. थैंक यू.
Thank you. I have, and मैम आप मेक इन इंडिया की बात कर रहे हो. हम लोग ना जब स्टार्ट करा था ना तो हम कुछ इंडिया में नहीं बनाते थे. And everything was imported. And there was a time when India में there were no factories available. And thanks to the PLI, PMP schemes, we've started now manufacturing in India. 2021 when Make in India program started, we started making in India, and now we are proud to say that now 70% of our products are now made in India. And now we have another dream from a lot of founders that we are saying make in India for the world, right? As Modi ji said. So now we all are dreaming that our companies should also go global. I would like to ask Manoj sir, you are, startup, what do you call it? Fund of funds, right? And you invest all the investors in the country, sir. What do you think is happening and how does this SIDBI fund of funds operate, sir? What do you think is happening in our country?
Thanks for asking this question, and let me take you back to 2016 when this fund of fund for startup was given to SIDBI by DPIIT. And at the time there were a handful of AIFs in the country, about 150 or so only AIFs in the country. And over this 10 years of journey, what this fund of DPIIT has done to the country is now more than 1,500 AIFs in the country. So the whole ecosystem has been developed now. The 10,000 crore which has been fully committed has been able to mobilize more than 90,000 crores of investments in the startup industry. So that's the kind of the leverage it has created. And going forward, it has reached to every nook and corner of the country. And going forward, we are looking for, SIDBI has started its own investments now. We have gone beyond a fund of fund, and then we have started investing directly onto the startup. That's the kind of impact it's creating. And a lot of you would be surprised to know, seeing the success of FFS of DPIIT, now a lot of other players have come in and they are starting fund of funds. A lot of state governments are coming. They are co-investing along with the FFS. A lot of sectoral organizations are coming, like Petroleum Ministry and all. They are creating their own FFS. New states like Andhra and Telangana are coming with the fund of fund for startups. So as a model, the fund of fund for startups, it has not only created ecosystem, it has enabled others also to follow this model. And that's the multiplier effect it's creating, and very happy to see that so many other government agencies, central government agencies are also coming in this field. And we are looking forward for a greater role in this journey of the startups in the country. Thank you very much.
So we also have Nick with us. He's from New Zealand and he's been in India for a very long time, 18 years. Nick, do you want to share maybe your journey so far and what you're up to now?
Namaskar, fantastic to be here with you all. We're actually with a group of students from New Zealand, young founders who've come to learn about and engage with India's startup ecosystem. We're traveling around India for 6 weeks in the build-up to the AI for Impact Summit. And we're learning how India isn't just building for India, but for the world. And all of you in this room are an inspiration to our students and all the people who are following us on social media, Indogenius online. I'm actually a Brit, but fir bhi dil hai Hindustani. and our students are from New Zealand. They're on the Prime Minister's Scholarship for Asia. And it's an opportunity for them to learn and meet people like you. I've been meeting Ritesh and taking students to Oyo for 12 years, 2014. So we've seen the journey, different offices, new brands, incredible story of Oyo, real inspiration from Rayagad, Odisha, all the way to the stage here with Honorable Pradhan Mantri Narendra Modi ji. And I wear air dopes, I use air dopes, I've got them, I had to check them in at security. I need to use some minimalist, but you guys are geniuses, you are the true Indo-geniuses. And my question is a little one, it's what message do you have from the world? What can the world learn from what's happening here in India? Because it's really exciting.
For those of you who don't know him, you should follow him on Instagram. He's a true ambassador of India globally. Every single month, he'd call me and say, here is a bunch of kids coming from Australia, here are a bunch of kids coming from Germany, and they want to come learn about what's happening here in India. We need more like you to come and tell the story of India to the world. Thank you for that. What the world can learn about what's happening in India is we have tens of crores of young people who are hungry to win. They are extremely bright. They have value systems which comes from hundreds of years, but they're dreaming and hungry to not just go from number 10 economy to number 3, but we are roaring to go from number 3 to number 1. That's what people should know. Absolutely. Thank you.
And, I'll follow you. I don't follow you. And you follow me back, please, on Instagram. I would say that, the young India has just started. We were, you're from Australia, right? New Zealand, huh? England. So, there was a time, all Commonwealth countries. So there was a time when, our team, Indian cricket team, used to have Dravids of this world, and we used to be on our defense. Now we have the Virat Kohlis of the world, and we are now aggressive in our cricket, right? So the new India is dreaming big. The founders, I meet a lot of founders this year. I met 200 founders who have said that now it's not about India anymore. It's about India to the world. So we are now dreaming to build world-class companies from India. That's the new India. I'll ask some questions from that side once.
Greetings to everyone on the dais and off the dais. I'm Advocate Ananya Tyagi. My question is, as India's startup ecosystem grows rapidly, how do we ensure that AI innovation scales responsibility without misuse, while still encouraging the founders? That is my question. I genuinely feel there needs to be a policy framework for safe use of AI in India, especially in the entrepreneurship space. Kindly suggest.
I'm happy to take the first part of it, if any of my colleagues would like to join later. Look, AI is rapidly transforming every walk of life. Aman bhai just mentioned about a 13-year-old. He's brought an AI model, I can't say much beyond this, with which you can identify serious illnesses which otherwise diagnostics would have taken days or weeks to identify, almost with some basic information, retinal tests, etc. So my perspective is AI's power comes with its own challenges, one of which is safe use of AI. Our country, as you know, our Prime Minister has rapidly advocated not just for an AI governance framework nationally, but as a global framework, and India is taking a lead there. So my sense is you will see a safe AI space policy coming out from a global context with India at the heart of it.
So we have Shraddha with us.
Yes. Hello.
I don't think she need any introduction, but yeah, Shraddha.
Why are you so scared to ask me a question? Hello everyone. सर बहुत प्राइड फील हो रहा है क्योंकि 2016 में जो स्टार्टअप इंडिया पॉलिसी लिखी गई थी उस समय मैं थोड़ी जवान और यंग लड़की थी तो मैंने लिखा था अमिताभ कांत जी के साथ तो आज 10 साल जब हो रहा है तो ये बहुत बड़ी बात है हम सब के लिए for all of us in this room and to all the youngsters whom minister you have been encouraging to speak उन्हीं से है स्टार्टअप इंडिया तो बहुत ही गर्व की बात है और एक चीज जब हम आज जाएं तो ये लेके जाएं कि हमारे प्रधानमंत्री 2016 में स्टार्टअप इंडिया का आह्वान और एक वर्ड बनाए थे और जहां हम बिहार से आते हैं वहां पे हम लोग सब सरकारी जॉब में जाना चाहते हैं और मिनिस्टर बनना चाहते हैं हम सब पॉलिटिक्स में जाना चाहते हैं मगर वहां भी स्टार्टअप इंडिया गया and that is something which we suited booted and fancy people should appreciate that as a country startup phenomena रितेश तो हीरो है ही बच्चे से जानती हूँ मैं इसको मगर जो स्टार्टअप फिनोमिना है और इस चीज को आज जब जाएं यहाँ से तो याद रखिए दैट स्टार्टअप एज अ फिनोमिना हमारे प्रधानमंत्री ने किया कि घर घर में लोग सोच सकें और हो सके एंड दैट इज अ कंट्री दैट वी आर लिविंग इन टुडे दूसरा मैं मिनिस्टर बैठे हैं इसलिए बोल दूं क्योंकि मिनिस्टर के पीछे भी मैं अच्छा ही बोलती हूँ इनके बारे में तो इनके सामने भी अच्छा बोल देती हूँ कि ये बहुत अच्छी इस बार ये बहुत अच्छा काम किए इस साल कि ये बिहार गए सो ही वेंट टू बिहार विथ अस एंड वहाँ पे 10,000 लोग present थे, and that was a huge change that he heralded. And that is what we want. We want action beyond Delhi. We want startups to be a phenomena beyond Delhi. अब सर आप सुन लीजिए, एक बात तो आपको सुननी होगी, ये बुरी बात कह रही हूँ, अब आपने बोला ही है बोलने के लिए तो सच बोलेंगे, and I know you like that. आज it's a big thing that we have 2 lakh startup. But to you, I will give a target, and we are all behind you, that we should actually have 10 lakh startups in Startup India. And you have to help us make that happen. दूसरा, कि ये room देखिए, ये room इतनी, हम तो एक दो अच्छे colorful महिलाएं हैं, but we need to have more women. More and more women in startups and more women. 10 साल हो गया है, मर्दों को कितना देखें, थोड़ी महिलाओं को बढ़ाइए. So वो दो चीजें मैं कहूंगी that we need to have in Startup India. And all the best to all of you young people. Go on, don't think of becoming unicorns, just go and have fun and go and build something exciting, and very proud to be in India and very proud to have a minister like you. And Secretary sir, आप भी बहुत काम करते हैं, और संजीव सर आप कहाँ हैं? All of you in DPIIT, you work very hard and we are very proud of you. Thank you.
We'll have to wind up quickly. माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी का आगमन होने वाला है, पर one last comment from
Sir, I am here. Basant.
अच्छा बोलो आप.
Sir, my name is Kumar Basant Si. मैं बिहार का बक्सर से आता हूँ. My startup is related to political election management. Each time what we do, जब भी मैं investment apply करता हूँ, तो they say that कि political startup है, I reject that. I haven't got any kind of fund. I have written long post on LinkedIn. Sanjeev sir replied that, but they didn't give me meeting. I even gave them the suggestion that this is the process should be there. ये सब होना चाहिए ताकि किसी भी कंपनी तो बना लेते हैं सर, उस दिन से हर महीने के आपका चार्जेस चालू हो जाते हैं. ऐसा नहीं होता है कि पैसे नहीं लगते हैं. कंपनी जैसे आप रजिस्ट्रेशन करवाते हो, DPIT लेकर आओ, DIN नंबर लेकर आओ, फिर उसके बाद ये बहुत सा CSC लेकर आओ, कंपनी CSC अपना CSC लेकर आओ, और उसके बाद क्या होता है, DPIT तुमको फंड नहीं मिलेगा. क्यों नहीं मिलेगा? क्योंकि तुम्हारा स्टार्टअप जो है आउट ऑफ स्कोप है, बहुत ही रिस्की है, क्योंकि पॉलिटिशियन पैसे नहीं देते हैं, सब डरते हैं इससे. आई डोंट नो व्हाई. सब लोग सर नेक्स्ट थिंग सर अच्छी बात है सर कि हम 10 साल सेलिब्रेट कर रहे हैं, लेकिन 10 साल में लाखों लोग पीछे छूट गए हैं सर, लेकिन कोई देखने वाला नहीं है. जिसको
मुझे लगता है आपकी बात समझ गया.
उसको हम लोग कुछ नहीं कर रहे हैं.
आप शायद कुछ गलत पार्टियों के पीछे